In the heart of Oshodi, among the hustle and bustle of Oshodi Park, there lived Mama Tokunbo. Her eyes were large and unblinking, and her smile sent shivers down the spine of anyone who saw it. Each day, she set up a small food stand, drawing people closer with the captivating aroma of her cooking. Everyone who tasted her food was enchanted, craving more with every bite. They spoke of the stew that was so red and spicy it could light a fire in your soul, and meat so tender it melted in your mouth. Yet, behind the delicious flavors, a dark truth lingered, waiting to be discovered. This is the story of Oshodi Park, where hunger and horror mixed, and the sweetest aroma marks the darkest secrets. As you listen, brace yourself. The reality behind this tale is far more chilling than you can imagine. Oshodi Park in Lagos was always alive with activity. The air was filled with the sounds of market vendors shouting, cars honking, and children laughing. Schools, churches, mechanic shops, and stores lined the busy streets. Food vendors sold a variety of delicious and affordable meals, attracting everyone from students to workers. The scent of fried plantains, spicy jollof rice, and suya drifted through the air, mixing with the humid heat of the busy market. Amid the noise, you could find market women arguing over prices, bus conductors calling out destinations, and street performers entertaining people walking by. The air was thick with the smell of petrol, sweat, and the occasional waft of fresh bread from the local bakery. Oshodi Park was a place where life moved fast and everyone had somewhere to be. One day, a new vendor appeared at the park. Her name was Mama Tokunbo. She was dark-skinned with big teeth, huge eyeballs, and large earrings that jangled with every movement. Her appearance was so unusual that no one wanted to associate with her. People whispered behind her back, wondering who she was and where she came from. She looks like she walked out of a nightmare, one market woman muttered to another. I heard she never smiles, her friend replied, glancing nervously in Mama Tokunbo's direction. Whenever someone asked about her child Tokunbo, she would always have an excuse. He is with his father today, or he is visiting relatives, she would say. No one had ever actually seen the child, which added to the misery surrounding her. From the first day Mama Tokunbo started cooking, an irresistible aroma filled the air. The students at the nearby school couldn't stop talking about it. Have you smelled that new food vendor's stew? It smells amazing, one student exclaimed. I can't wait to try it. Everyone is talking about it, another replied, eyes wide with anticipation. People from every corner of the park discussed the enchanting aroma. Mechanics paused their work, shop owners left their stores unattended, and even churchgoers couldn't resist the temptation. The buzz about Mama Tokunbo's cooking spread quickly, and soon everyone was lining up at her counter to get a taste of her food. Mama Tokunbo only cooked one type of stew with rice and meat, but it was enough to keep everyone coming back for more. The stew was a vibrant red, spicy, and incredibly delicious. I can't believe how good this is. I have never tasted anything like it, a customer exclaimed, savoring every bite. I don't care if it's expensive. I need more, another added, licking his lips and fingers. Other food vendors began to notice that their customers were disappearing. They were jealous and gossiped about Mama Tokunbo. What is so special about our food? It can't be better than ours, one vendor grumbled. I heard she is using some kind of magic, another whispered, her eyes narrowing with suspicion. Only one vendor, Ikem, who was heavily pregnant, admired Mama Tokunbo and wished she could be like her. Whenever Mama Tokunbo ran out of food, people would beg her to cook more and offer to pay double despite the high prices. Please, Mama Tokunbo, just a little more stew. I will pay anything, a desperate customer pleaded. No one had ever seen Mama Tokunbo cook, adding to the mystery. She would arrive early, her huge eyeballs scanning the crowd as she set up her stand, but no one ever saw her actually preparing the food. It was as if the delicious stew appeared out of thin air. Around this time, news broke out about blood and newborn babies missing from the local hospital. People began to wonder who could be behind these disappearances. The disappearances cast a shadow over Oshodi Park, but the allure of Mama Tokunbo's stew was too strong to resist. A man went home one evening and refused to eat the dinner his wife had prepared. Why are you not eating? I made your favorite, his wife asked, puzzled. I will eat tomorrow at Mama Tokunbo's shop, he replied, his mind already set on the delicious stew. Another customer, so enchanted by her food, begged Mama Tokunbo to marry him, saying he was ready to drive his wife away. Mama Tokunbo, please marry me. I will leave my wife for you, he pleaded, eyes full of desperation. Mama Tokunbo laughed and dismissed him with a wave of her hand. Go back to your wife, old fool. A student who couldn't afford her food washed all her plates just to get a taste of her stew. I don't have any money, but I will wash your plates if you let me eat, the student offered. Mama Tokunbo nodded, watching as the student eagerly scrubbed the dishes clean. Mama Tokunbo had no workers. She did everything herself and was very fast at attending to customers. She was also rude and would shout if customers didn't stay in a straight line. Stay in line. If you can't behave, get out, she would yell, her voice cutting through the crowd. Once an agbero, a street thug, was making noise, telling customers not to push him. Mama Tokunbo poured a bucket of dirty water on him. What did you do that for? The agbero asked. He was very furious. Don't make noise in my shop, Mama Tokunbo shouted back. The agbero, despite being soaked with dirty water, apologized to her. I am sorry, Mama Tokunbo. It won't happen again. Her influence over people was baffling. Ikem decided to befriend Mama Tokunbo. After tasting her food, she abandoned her own business and started selling for Mama Tokunbo, much to the surprise of other vendors. Ikem, how can you leave your own business? A vendor asked, disbelief in her voice. I want to learn from the best, Ikem replied, her eyes gleaming with a strange light. The other vendors organized a meeting to discuss Mama Tokunbo's food and to uncover the secret behind its deliciousness. We need to find out what she is doing. It is affecting all our businesses, one vendor said, frustration evident in his voice. Maybe Ikem knows something. She works with her now, another suggested. As Ikem's due date approached, Mama Tokunbo convinced her to give birth at her house instead of the hospital. Mama Tokunbo assured her that her husband, a doctor, would be there and it would be a joyful surprise. Ikem's husband, Ekene, was worried. He suspected his wife has not been going to the hospital for checkups. Ikem, are you sure everything is okay with the baby? Why haven't you been to the hospital? Ekene asked, concern etched on his face. Don't worry, Ekene. Everything is fine, Ikem replied, avoiding his eyes. When the day for Ikem's delivery came, she told her husband she wanted to go alone. Ikene, worried, informed her friends and the vendors who decided to follow her. One of the vendors, Shayo, followed Ikem cautiously and discovered she went to Mama Tokunbo's house. I need to see what is going on in there, Shayo muttered to herself, hiding behind a tree. Inside, Mama Tokunbo welcomed Ikem and offered her food. The house was very quiet, with pictures of babies on the walls. Where is your husband, Mama Tokunbo? Ikem asked, feeling a knot of unease in her stomach. He is busy at the hospital. He will be here when you are ready to deliver, Mama Tokunbo replied with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. As Ikem's delivery day approached, she was filled with both excitement and fear. She trusted Mama Tokunbo, but she couldn't shake the uneasy feeling in her gut. On the day of delivery, Ikem screamed in pain. She asked for her husband, and Mama Tokunbo said he was on his way. Mama Tokunbo then brought out knives, scissors, a chopping board, and buckets. Mama Tokunbo, what are you doing with those? Ikem asked, panic rising in her voice. Mama Tokunbo laughed mischievously and took a knife. Hearing Ikem's screams, the vendors burst in and were shocked to see Ikem's stomach cut open, with Mama Tokunbo holding a newborn baby about to chop it up. The vendors carried Mama Tokunbo to the market as she begged for mercy. She confessed that she mixed human blood and tomatoes to prepare a stew, and the meat was from babies. Her confession continued, revealing that she started cooking babies when her own baby, Tokunbo, died at 6 months old. Instead of burying her child, she cut him into pieces and cooked him, finding the taste to be delicious. Her husband had left her after their child's death, driving her to madness. Everyone was horrified. Mama Tokunbo ran mad, went crazy, while Ikem was rushed to the hospital and began recovering with her baby. Oshodi Park returned to normal, but the memory of Mama Tokunbo's horror remained. The vendors, students, and everyone who had tasted her food were haunted by the revelation. The busy market that once thrived with laughter and joy now carried the weight of a dark secret, whispered in hushed tones among the stores and streets. The tale of Mama Tokunbo teaches us several important lessons. First, never judge someone solely by appearances. Sometimes the most ordinary looking people can harbor dark secrets. Second, be cautious of irresistible temptations. What seems too good to be true often is. Lastly, the truth has a way of coming out no matter how well it is hidden. Thank you for listening. Remember to always stay curious, but also be mindful of what lies beneath the surface. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.